Look at the thumbnail of this video. You see a modern man, just like you, exhausted, crying over a screen, a slave to the digital casino, trying to use not caring to escape the anxiety. That is not what the ancient masters taught. You are not alone. They lied to you. The influencers with their curated, perfect Stoic feeds. They told you Stoicism is a shield. They told you that not caring means feeling nothing. They taught you that if you just repeat Marcus Aurelius' quotes to yourself, the world will stop hurting you. And you believed them. You tried it. You held the pain inside. You put on a mask of coldness. You practiced a pathetic form of intellectual numbing. You tried to turn your heart into stone. You thought it was strength. It was just a dangerous misunderstanding of not caring. Now look at your life. Are you really free? Of course not. You are just a different kind of slave. A servant to the performance of invincibility. Every comment on social media still cuts you deep. You still feel the knot of scarcity in your stomach. You are tired. You are bitter. And the truth is, you are closer to a mental breakdown than to enlightenment. You are failing not because you aren't trying hard enough. You are failing because you are trying to use a scalpel as a hammer. Your problem is not that you care. Your problem is how you care. The guru sold you a scam. They sold you emotional apathy, and they called it Stoicism. They sold you weakness dressed as strength. They fed you poison, and now you are wondering why you are sick. But here is the terrifying truth. You are exhausted because you have turned the philosophy of freedom into another decorative chain. You are miserable because you have made other people's validation your master, and now you are begging for consensus from fools. This is the exact moment where the modern fake Stoicism will lead you to disaster. Because a soul that cannot be bought by pleasure cannot be threatened by pain. But a soul that just refuses to feel anything is just an empty room waiting for a storm. Let's stop right now. Forget everything you think you know about Stoicism. Forget the quotes. Forget the poses. Forget the unshakable facade. I want you to discover the truly magnetic, terrifying power of Stoic indifference. And if you are ready to build an empire of iron character, if you are ready to stop begging for emotional validation and actually stand, then subscribe. Not to hit a goal, but to give yourself a daily checkpoint. A simple filter for the madness. Subscribe, because the world is a grinder, and I will not let it grind you down. Now, let's step into actual reality. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics did not write about not caring. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He didn't run away from conflict. He governed it. He spent his nights in a cold military tent, writing down rules for himself. He wrote, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, surly." Did he say, "I shouldn't care"? No. He accepted their nature as a natural fact. Epictetus was born a slave. His master crippled his leg. Do you really think a crippled slave practicing emotional apathy would survive that? No. He mastered his judgment. He said, if a person gave your body away to any passerby, you would be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you. Look at the average person today. We have wealth, but we are absolute slaves to our phones. We are terrified of a single negative comment. We morph our values, our language, our identity, just to avoid a confrontation. Modern culture worships this weakness. They tell you that your truth is everything. But your truth is what is driving you into depression. The Stoics didn't defend their truth. They lived it. Epictetus chose silence. He knew that arguing with a tyrant was self-sabotage. He knew that the opinion of his master? Not up to him. The crowd's ignorance? Not up to him. The choice in his own mind? Entirely up to him. This is the invincibility of the Stoics. They did not block the chaos out. They let it beat against their shields. They didn't avoid the market. They dominated it because they were the only ones not afraid of losing their shirts. And that is where you are failing. You are confusing emotional depth with mental mastery. Let me explain exactly how the Stoics thought. They did not try to count to 10. They didn't practice active listening techniques. Cliché advice from plastic gurus. Those are just plastic shields in a volcanic eruption. No. You are exhausted because you are building dams out of sand. You save money. You block calendars. You try to create the perfect workspace. Then the tide of desire rises, the dam breaks, and you spend everything to escape the stress of saving. We are not building dams. We are moving to higher ground. This is a matter of identity, not effort. You must shift your identity from a seeker of validation to a source of value. A defender of opinions to a source of truth. A seeker is empty. A seeker of validation shows up to the conversation with an empty cup, begging the other person to fill it by saying you are right. And when the other person refuses, the defender starves. A source is different. A sun does not argue with the dark, it shines. A mountain does not debate the storm, it stands. A master is self-contained. They focus purely on the quality of their action, completely indifferent to the noise of the result. Because the only things they truly own are their character and their judgment. When you are the source, you do not need validation to know you are correct. Your alignment with reality, your discipline, your daily execution, that is your validation. And when you stop needing them to agree with you, something strange happens. The argument dies before it even begins. Conflict requires two opposing forces to exist. When one force refuses to engage, the other falls flat on its face. Market physics. Trust flows to the reliable. Power flows to the consistent. And the heaviest thing in any room is always the person who cannot be bought. We aren't holding wild animals by their tails. We are walking out of the cage. We aren't trying to row against the tidal wave. We are building a vessel that doesn't care about the storm. How do you implement the real Stoic alternative? You do it by changing what you protect. Stop protecting your ego. Start protecting your attention. When someone says something incredibly stupid, the success is not in showing them their error. The success is in your immediate return to your own work. Leaving their words to rot in the air. If they think they won? Fine. If they call you lazy because you refuse to schedule your life like a robot? Fine. Your character does not lose a single atom of value either way. This is what modern society hates. They want you to be an anxious consumer. They want you to be outraged. Because an outraged person buys the self-help course, the subscription, the status symbol, the political tribe. But a self-contained person? You can't sell anything to a person who already knows they are the prize. You can't control a person who isn't afraid of a boring task. The fear of discomfort is the ultimate chain. It makes you tolerate disrespectful bosses. It makes you explanatory to people who have already decided to hate you. It makes you stay in toxic environments because you are terrified of what people will think if you stop running. Accept the possibility of being misunderstood. Embrace it. Build a life that is so deep, so disciplined, and so focused that procrastination cannot find a single crevice to take root. Go back to your territory. Rebuild your fortress of silence. Cultivate your own focus. Focus on your physical body, your deep work, and your mental sovereignty. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Look at the image of the bust. Broken marble. Stone. But inside, it's all hollow. Just gears. Just a machine. That is what modern hustle culture, fake Stoicism, is trying to do to you. Turn you into a hollow machine designed for endless consumption. Govern your own mind with iron. Or watch it fall. Procrastination, arguments, the chase for wealth. They aren't about effort. They are confessions of weakness. Delay is a confession of arrogance. Delay means you think you own tomorrow. Arguing is a confession of pain. It means their words successfully pierced your skin. The opposite of success is not failure. It is frantically trying to avoid it. Break the chain. The market will crash. Currencies will inflate. The only stable currency in existence is your character and your capability. Kill the urge to look busy. Kill the urge to be right. Stop negotiating with your own comfort. Let them win the argument while you win your life. Let the money chase you for a change. Let the world try to keep up with you. The crown is on your head. Do not drop it for a blanket or a peasant's opinion. You are the sovereign of your own mind. Act like it.